The 2023 Atlanta Braves offense was historically great. They became the first team as a team to ever slug over 500. They tied the 2019 Minnesota Twins record for home runs with a 307. And to be honest, let's be real about that. Just like steroids made Barry Bonds the home run king, the 2019 juice ball era made the Minnesota Twins the home run king. If you go back and look at that season, I think 6 or 7 of the top 10 teams and team home runs are from that 2019 season. So the true home run kings in terms of single season totals as a team was the 2023 Atlanta Braves. But is there any way possible, Alex, that the 2024 Atlanta Braves could be even better offensively than they were last year?
If you're betting on it, obviously not. Obviously not. But there is a possibility because, first of all, you look at some of the pieces. It's not like Ronald Acuna Jr.'s season was an anomaly. Last year, 2022, Ronald Acuna Jr. was an anomaly because he was rehabbing from that injury. Austin Riley has proven to be one of the most deadly hitters in baseball. You got Matt Olson, obviously a perennial home run king threat. And then you got Michael Harris, who we are very high on. And obviously, I think that he's going to take that next step at some point. It could be in 2024. Now, Big Bear, I don't know if Marcell Ozuna is going to put up another career year, but he is always a threat to hit 30 on nearly 40 bombs a year. And then in left field, if Kelenic can even just be a fraction of what Rosario and Kevin Pillar were last year, the Braves have a very good chance to at least still have the best offense in baseball. It's just they were the first team ever to have an over 500 slugging percentage as a team. That's crazy. Odds are they're not going to repeat. The hope is the pitching comes up, the hitting just at least stays where it's at, and we win a World Series. Whether it's going to be historic, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to look at health, right? Ronald Acuna stayed healthy for the entire season. Matt Olson played every single game. Austin Riley played nearly every single game. Pretty much every starter played every single game outside of Michael Harris, and we talked about him yesterday and how he got off to a slow start. So, yes, you could see an increase in Michael Harris's numbers, but it is, like you said, is Marcell Ozuna going to hit 40 homers? I think the guy's hit 30 homers twice in his career. So that's probably not going to happen. As Ozzy Albies going to have another 33 home run season where he stays totally healthy. Maybe not. Is Matt Olson going to lead the league in homers with 51 or whatever he hit?
54,
54. Probably not. He definitely could. All of these things could happen. But when you think about last year,
all of them combined,
all of them did happen. I do think you could get more production out of Kelenic offensively than you did. So that's obviously an area. And we just talked about Michael Harris. But then you look at everyone else. Everyone else almost had career years across the board. Albies, Olson, Ozuna, Acuna. They all had career years. Even Sean Murphy, I know he fell off in the second half, but the first half of the season, he almost had his single season home run total for his entire career, the highest amount.
He's a sneaky MVP candidate at the first half over the first half of the season.
So when you're talking about, they would have to remain incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
It's not like they really changed anything in their lineup outside of Kelenic, who we all hope can be a star, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to have 30 home runs next year. I think that's very far-fetched. Possible, there's a chance. But I think that's far-fetched. So you're basically asking all of your star players from a year ago who all had career years to repeat that and all stay healthy for 162 games. I would love to say that's going to happen. I'm the optimist here, and I'm trying to lay out a scenario. But in my head, it's almost unfathomable to imagine that they could potentially be better than last year. Now, I still think they're going to be the best offense in baseball by quite a bit. They were by leaps and bounds yesterday.
That's the point, though. They still can be the best offense in baseball without even sniffing what they were last year. That is still very possible. Without even getting close to, say, a 500-plus slugging percentage as a team, they don't even sniff that, and they could still easily be the best offense in baseball. And I think, on the flip side of things, painting the whole picture is Anthopoulos, the offseason was built to become more balanced. Obviously, we depended very heavily on the offense last year. He went and addressed the bullpen, the rotation. The hope is this team is much more balanced. The expectation is regression on the offensive side. Make no bones about it. The expectation is a little bit of regression because, like you said, not only is everybody going to be has to be as productive, there's going to be a certain amount of luck involved with injuries. Like that's the biggest factor in my eyes is injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think a lot of Braves fans, and maybe a lot of Braves fans do understand it, but this was quite literally over the regular season, the best offense in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
And it was literally the best offense in the history of baseball. We're talking about something that's been around for 150 years, and this was the best offense. This offense was better than Murderer's Row. I mean, there is a thing that's still known today. It's called Murderer's Row. It's from almost 100 years ago, and they were better than that. They were better than that. And Murderer's Row is also kind of the coolest nickname for a lineup, and I'm kind of pissed off at the Braves. As good as they were, we never came up with a cool nickname for this lineup because it really was the best offense in the history of baseball. So I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to sit here and say that they're going to be better. Reality is they probably won't. Coming up after the break, we are going to discuss the Atlanta Falcons salary cap and how much they had to spend this offseason.